Hello, thank you for attending the Upper Merion Township Renewable Energy Forum hosted jointly by the Environmental Advisory Council and the Economic and Community Development Committee. My name is Chris Casbin. I'm the Environmental Advisory Council Chairman, and this is currently the second forum in a series of at least 4 forums that we'll be doing this year that highlight different environmental topics. Our first forum was held in February, where we focused in on energy efficiency through the Energy Works program. The other 2 forums that we're planning will be in June. We'll be talking about recycling issues. In October, we'll be working with storm water management. So definitely, if you haven't already, sign up and record your information down, and we'll make sure we keep you in the loop on future events. So I'm happy to introduce 3 presenters today that have different expertise and different backgrounds. We have Linda Collins, who's a homeowner in the township, and she is going to be talking about her geothermal system that she successfully installed. Next, we have Jenice Musselman with UGI Corporation. They're a business in the township that is working towards a LEED certified building there. And so they're going to give us perspective from a commercial business perspective. And then we have John Lesher, who's an environmental planner with Montgomery County, and he's going to kind of give us an overview on all aspects of renewable energy, solar, wind, geothermal, et cetera. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Linda Collins and thank her for coming. And Linda, the show's yours.
Thank you. I've been a resident of Upper Merion Township for 10 years. My husband and I moved here in 2002, and we have a cape on Hughes Road in Gulf Mills, and decided 4 years ago to put geothermal in the summer of 2008. The system was interesting to me because my husband had studied this for 20, 30 years. He talked about it and wanted to do this from time to time as we moved to different houses, and I thought it made a lot of sense. Use the heat from the earth, save on money, and take advantage of some real cost savings. The cooling is fabulous in the summertime. I'm comfortable all year long. Wintertime is wonderful. It's a smooth, even heating, so it's been a real success as far as I'm concerned. The address again is in Hughes Road, and it's about a 2,900 square foot house, and installed in June of 2008. The first thing I did when I was putting this together was take a look at the internet, as most people do now, and found that there were 3,740 different hits on geothermal heating and cooling. And who's going to wade through that? So I went to just some of them to see, and of course, having been through this, I've already had made a decision. But I think it's a good place to start to just read about what geothermal is. There are a lot of interesting sites that are specific to geothermal. The International Ground Source Heat Pump Association is one of the top accreditations in that industry. And I looked at the Geothermal Genius site and found that to be interesting. I'm not technical. My husband did all the research on this, so I'm just kind of sharing some information. I would, as a suggestion, when you're thinking about geothermal, to do some initial research so you understand what you're reading and what you're talking with people about. I'd look for different businesses that have certain accreditations, licenses. I'd check with the Better Business Bureau as you tune into a specific supplier or installer, and referrals and recommendations. My husband and I pretty much relied on our neighbor. She was an architect, or is an architect, and she was already having this installed. We saw the signs posted on the street, and the geothermal was going in. And about 3/4 of a year later or so, we stopped and asked, and she was thrilled, very delighted with the system. This is a video that we use Sinton air conditioning. That was the decision we made after her recommendation and some research. It's in Kennett Square, and so they're the only installers that I can really speak about. There is a video they have on their site that I wanted to show you, and I'm jumping here because of the PC-Mac conflict. This particular video is only 2 minutes long, but it shows an installation in the front, speaks about residential as well as commercial installations. thing I'd like you to look at closely is the well drilling machine and what it does to your front yard or backyard, wherever you choose to place this well, because it requires...
As the world becomes increasingly aware of the need to go green, renewable energy sources are in higher demand than ever, and geothermal energy is leading the pack.
It's a process of taking the existing heat that's in our Earth's upper crust and removing that heat from the Earth and transferring it into the home or the business.
Geothermal energy works like an in-ground radiator. A series of pipes injected with an environmentally friendly antifreeze are placed underground and attached to an indoor unit that has the ability to extract heat from the earth in the winter and reject it in the summer.
What makes geothermal energy so green and so clean is the amount of energy it takes to move heat that's already existing is only 1/4 or 1/5 of the amount of energy it would take to create the heat with some type of fossil fuel burning equipment.
And with the sharp increases of oil prices in recent years, geothermal energy is making sense to commercial consumers.
We would expect to save 40% off our heating bill by using this technology than our central steam plant, and save 20% in the air conditioning cost during the summer. We've installed a number of buildings now, and it's looking very, very positive, and we continue to want to move down this approach and convert more of our buildings as we have time to geothermal technology.
Setting up a geothermal heating system requires an initial investment. Federal tax credits are available to help subsidize the initial costs to both commercial and domestic users.
The grants and the tax credits are helpful in offsetting your cost up front right now, but it's pretty easy to see one of these systems helping to be paid back over an extended period of time.
Going green means saving some green to domestic users as well.
We are saving so much money, about 70%. We lose no comfort. In fact, we probably gain comfort because we don't have to worry about turning the thermostat down, and we're being green at the same time.
It makes me very happy that I'm able to keep my family incredibly comfortable, but at the same time having a much smaller impact on the environment.
That is right off the website. Let me get this going. And I spoke with Bill Sinton this morning just to confirm that over 4 years' time, not a lot had changed. The second thing I would do after you've done your research and you've done some studying is have them come in to determine what you really need, because every application is different depending on the items listed here, your home, how large it is, your land, the landscaping. So much is involved, so you can't make decisions. This is not something that you can go to Home Depot and buy a unit and expect to put it in. The loop has to be determined, and that's where you get the technical piece that they must be able to study this and design a plan for your specific house. The one on the left, the vertical loop, is the one that we had put in, and that's the well driller that you saw in the film. They go into the ground. They only will go maybe 400 to 500 feet, I believe. Anything over that, you have to drill multiple wells. And for my house, they drilled two 275-foot wells. The horizontal loops, if you have a large property, is a possibility if you're by a pond, apparently. And then the cheapest, most economical is the open loops for with well water. The first thing they did once we had committed to them was charge a fee. It's approximately $500 to come in and do a residential comfort survey. And that's where they actually come in and look at all pieces of your house and determine what is needed. These are some of the things you see that have to be considered, and things that you want to ask about specifically. How are you going to get rid of the old furnace? What about the oil tank that's in your basement? How are you going to get the well put in and make those decisions? And so forth. So once you discuss that and find out what their warranties are, you can make comparisons between different companies. I would probably investigate 2 or 3 different companies. There are discounts available, there are credits that you can get, and also special financing. There are, and there were when we did it, tax incentives, so those are things you want to consider. All of that is part of the research you really have to do. And of course you can rely on the company that you feel comfortable with to share a lot of that information. The next thing, I believe, and I couldn't confirm, I think they may not be off, or they may be off for this end of the holiday, but the building permit should be looked into. I went on the website, and Upper Merion has a mechanical permit application so that they're keeping track of these installations. So I'm assuming that that is your next step. So then you're ready to get ready to install, you're getting ready to install your system. The first thing you want to do is make sure you're timing this so you use up whatever oil you have in your tank. We had a company that was willing to buy back at a lower price some of what we had because we didn't do that kind of planning. And so I don't know that they're really allowed any longer to do that. I'd make sure that if you have a full tank of oil, use it up. You want to make sure that if you want to get rid of your oil tank, you arrange for that. I put someone's name there. I'm not sure that's who we used. He still has a phone number that's in operation, whether he still is doing that. But we only paid $350 to have the tank removed. Some companies, I had estimates up to $1,900. So once again, do your research. You have to take care of getting rid of the tank. As far as the equipment, the furnace, and we had a heat pump and so forth, the installer took care of disposing of that. We had 2 wells, as I mentioned, drilled, and the line runs underground into the house. There's absolutely nothing out front. We were able to have the oil pipe into the house removed, so there's absolutely nothing you see. This is our front yard looking out from the inside. There's a well here and one here, and then it runs right here into the house. B.L. Myers is one of the well drillers that they use. They were great, but the Sinton company coordinated with B.L. Myers. You don't want to go out and contract your own well driller and wind up with a conflict in terms of what's best for the system. It was pretty seamless. It was a great transition. This is what we had before in our basement. This was a wood stove we never used, but the former owner had in the basement. And this was our furnace with a 275-gallon oil tank. Not certain of the age of that furnace. And we had a heat pump that we used outside for air conditioning and when the weather was not cold enough to need a furnace, but just for some light heating. And when we were done, we had this one unit right here, which is Water Furnace, the brand that they are using now. And we increased the tank right here to an 80-gallon tank because part of the process here is taking the heated water, and they send that preheated water from this tank over to our hot water heater, so it helps with our heating of water as well. So the system was complete at that point. We looked hoping for some savings, and this is what I've discovered. Depending on your house, your use of energy, and so forth, you can save 30 to 70% each month on the bills that you pay. And over on the left, some information, 60 to 70% if you switch from LP gas or oil, which is what we did, 40% from natural gas, and if you're switching from a heat pump, 60%. Air conditioning certainly has savings, but because you only use air conditioning for a couple months of the year, it's not as dramatic as heat. These were my costs. I was putting my house on the market last fall, and still on the market. So I had to pull together the numbers. And September through August, from 2010 to 11, I used in 1 year $3,167 in electricity. That average cost is $264 a month. Now, in addition, we also have a propane tank that we use for the stove, a dryer, an outdoor grill, a log in the fireplace, and a gas log stove. And so it's about $55 a month. But that's because I had that preference. So my utilities basically are around $300 a month year-round. I used to choke when the oil truck would pull up in the middle of winter, and it would be $600, $700 4 years ago to fill up the oil tank. So this, I have a pretty fixed number. I know the best bill was in, what would that be, around November, I guess. No, here's one in October, $129, and then the worst was $446 in February. So my savings, I thought were terrific. Beyond that, I didn't do a study. What was my percentage? I don't care. I love knowing that it's a clean, smooth running system. I'm comfortable all the time. I leave it at 68 degrees because that's comfortable for me round the clock. In the summer, I don't have it quite so low, but it just runs along so beautifully. I also make it a point to have it serviced twice a year. They replace the filter and they come in and just check out. Great warranties on the system for 10 years, and that's transferable to a new owner. So I feel very comfortable. I'm thrilled with the system. Questions? Yes.
How long did it take from the time you signed a contract with Sinton to the time that it was operational?
I wanted it to be, well, and we met with them in the springtime. I wanted it to be tie in with some things that I had going on at the time. It was pretty seamless with the well driller and what they came in to install and remove my the furnace and such that I had. I want to say it was a couple weeks at most for the whole thing. Very simple. And they orchestrated it beautifully, so it was an easy thing to do. Costs, if you have a, say, 2,500 square foot home right now, an estimate would be $20,000 to $30,000 to put this in. The pipe's supposed to last virtually forever, 50 years. The furnace should last 25 to 30 years. So the cost, although it's high compared to just going out and replacing a furnace, it pays itself back fairly quickly. They estimated, I think it was 4 to 6 years or something for payback. Our system 4 years ago was $23,000 total. The well drilling was $77,000 something, and the remainder was the unit and the installation. Yes?
Can you comment on how disruptive, if at all, was the drilling, the actual drilling taking place?
Well, fortunately, I went off to teach school every day. I don't know. It does leave a big mess in the front yard because whatever they're drilling through, whether it's granite or limestone, whatever they find, it leaves some sort of a dust. And you really have to landscape that area quite a bit. But the noise, they're there, I think they were for 2 days at most, day and a half. It was quick and easy. And, you know, I don't think it was a bother. My husband didn't comment on it. Yes?
Did you find that the permit fee for Merion Township was excessive?
I can't comment on that because I couldn't reach them, and my husband did that kind of work. I have no knowledge of that, so I can't tell you. I wish they'd answered this morning even, but...
So I find that it's probably over 2% of the cost of that. So if you put in a $50,000 investment, you're going to pay $1,000 just for a permit. And I find that it's very excessive in this township.
That's a whole nother matter. I don't know because I don't have those numbers. My husband handled all that. Any other questions? Well, thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Linda. Want to take the time to introduce Jenice Musselman. She works with UGI Corporation, as previously mentioned. They're working on their LEED certification, their business here in the township. She's gonna give us a unique perspective on that. So Jenice, come on up, thanks.
Hello, welcome. Okay. So I was up here just wanting to give a presentation on our LEED certification as well as a couple of other things that UGI Corporation is doing. For those who are not familiar, our building is on North Gulf Road in King of Prussia. And we were under a unique circumstance. About 2 years ago, we had a fire in our building in December of 2009. So that presented us with a unique situation in leading towards LEED certification. So a couple things I wanted to go over today. Besides LEED, also included our sustainability initiatives as a corporation, as well as our continuous improvement. Actually, I'm just going to get this into, there we go. So a couple things we did when we were renovating from the fire on our LEED building credits. The first being insulation under our granite to increase our R value. We also did thermal pane, double glass windows. We actually installed solar panels on our roof, which had provided about 3% of our energy usage. We were hoping to get more, but unfortunately that was the only space we had to work with. So we maximized that as much as we could. We put in a Lutron lighting system, which has motion sensors. This is great for in the office. In our rooms, the lights will automatically turn out when you leave the office rooms. Sometimes you'll see yourself sitting in the office and they'll actually be off when you're in the office from lack of movement, but it's a really efficient way for us to save on our energy usage. We have low-flow flushers on our toilets. We also had recycled products for almost everything that we moved into the building, including our furniture, our carpeting, and our drop ceilings. And I think the LEED requires you to have at least 25% recycled materials in those products. We upgraded our HVAC system to ensure that it met efficiency standards per the LEED certification. We have a bike rack that we have outside of our office that employees can use to cut down on gas consumption on the way to work. And we also recycled everything during our renovation. For those who drove by our office building, you may have noticed really large dumpsters outside of our building, and that was to segregate the furniture versus carpets during our renovation time. So these were just a couple of crucial elements that we really worked on when we were renovating the building. Certainly, this list is not complete. There was many, many other improvements that we've done and we continue to do during this process. I included a couple of pictures just to give a perspective. The first one on the left is our solar panels that we have on our roof. The picture on the right was just the renovation with the drop ceiling. In the bottom left, you can actually see some of when they were installing the granite with some of the installation, and over to the right is, of course, our final product. So people have been really happy. I know that there's always a fear of going with a LEED certification. Will it still add to productivity? And I think everybody's been more than pleased with the improvements that we've made to our building. Some of the awards that we've achieved because of this LEED certification was the 2011 Significant Investment in the King of Prussia community. And we also anticipate a silver award for the LEED certification that we'll hope to achieve by the end of the summer. Just overall, UGI Corporation is very concerned with sustainability. And in 2008, we had a robust initiative from our president in regarding our sustainability program. And what that included was a development of our sustainability statement. We also had the formation of a sustainability steering committee, which really focuses on the company's efforts in sustainability, both inside the company and in our communities. We had a carbon footprint study in 2008 with all of our domestic business units to understand what our carbon footprint is during that time period and how we can improve it moving forward. We also developed a sustainability fact sheet, which basically took all of our initiatives from all of our business units so that our investors could understand what we're doing. Our business units have green websites. For those of you that might be familiar with our domestic business units, we have UGI Utilities, UGI Energy Services, AmeriGas Propane. So each of these companies, if you go on their websites, will have links to green initiatives. We also, as a company, do Earth Day initiatives, and that's once a year. In fact, Earth Day is coming up on April 22nd. And that's a way that we really encourage our employees to be active in promoting sustainability efforts on the Earth. And so some of the things we've done in the past is employees were invited to submit one example of how they were minimizing their impact on the environment. We also invited employees to select 3 things they could change in their house over a 4-month period. So these are just ways to get our employees excited about sustainability and contributing to the overall Earth. Some of our efforts to date in recycling and conservation efforts, we have a single stream recycling program at all of our business units. We have a water filtration system, and we now do refillable cups. We don't offer paper cups to our employees anymore. We have removed all of our desktop printers. A lot of our employees used to all have desktop printers at their desk areas. So that was an initiative we took 2 years ago and said, you know what, we really don't need these desktop printers. It's using a lot of energy, a lot of paper, and so we went to large printers within our business units and recycled all of the desktop printers. We also have gone to dual-side printing, e-faxing, and e-billing to reduce our paper usage. We have performed evaluations of all of our office layouts just to make sure that we're maximizing our space and we're utilizing the space and energy. We've gone to paperless pay stubs, timesheets, authorizations, and expense reports. And we also have energy or generators, which are burning natural gas to produce clean and efficient energy. This is just a picture of all the desktop printers that we actually recycled at one of our business units. So as you can see, it was a pretty good effort on the company's part just to reduce energy. As most of you know, we have quite a large fleet from AmeriGas and also our utility company. So we've focused a lot of efforts surrounding the reduction of gas consumption and efficiencies with our fleet. Some of the items we've done is we've actually installed a routing software that has allowed our trucks to maximize efficiencies as they're going to our customers' homes. And we also have GPS devices to reduce miles driven. So that's really been helpful over the last year. We've installed super single tires for lower vehicle weight, which also has reduced our consumption of gas. We actually have a hybrid bobtail prototype that is now getting 12 to 16 miles per gallon, which you can see is quite a reduction from our original 5 miles per gallon. We implemented a no idling policy for our vehicles, and we also have a significant investment in vehicles utilizing diesel and small fleet 4-cylinder cars. Surrounding our business and marketing efforts, we have quite a few, and this certainly doesn't involve all of them, but we participate in Crayola Solar Project, which we work together with Crayola and PPL on a 15-acre solar farm, which supplies 2.5 megawatts of power to Crayola manufacturing plant. We've had the installation of heat pump water heaters, which are 70% more efficient than our traditional models. Our HVAC unit has one of the largest teams of Building Performance Institute certified professionals. We work with our customers a lot on our home energy credits. We also do a lot of customer outreach on green solutions, including online bill pay, education on energy reduction, strategies at home and work, and details on available tax credits.